Hello again, and during this demonstration I'm going to try and make this piezo buzzer and this microcontroller circuit turn on whenever I have the tactile switch pressed. Now to do this I'm going to be reusing a past program I designed. What this program does is whenever I have the tactile switched on, so whenever it is pressed, the two red LEDs on the microcontroller will turn on. So let's see a simple demonstration of how the circuit is working currently with this program. So until now, only the LEDs are lighting up. So let's edit the program so we could be able to make the buzzer make a sound as well. So let's refer back to this table to see to which pin the buzzer is connected to. As we could see here, the buzzer is connected to pin C2. So let's go back to the program and click on this output command and make sure that we also turn on pin C2. So let's give pin C2 a digital 1, which means on, so pin C2 is going to turn on, and let's change the cell label. First tick on edit, and then instead of what's already written underneath cell label, let's write that LEDs and the buzzer turn on. Okay? And then let's do the same to the other command of when switch is off. So since switch is going to be off, the buzzer should be off as well. So let's give pin CO a 0, a digital 0, which will turn pin C2 off. Once again, let's edit the cell label, tick edit, and instead let's write LEDs and buzzer turn off, and then click on OK to confirm everything. Now you could check for errors to see if everything is working fine. Then, to download the program into your microcontroller, all you have to do is click on Program right here, which is located on the Home tab. So let's wait for the program to download into our microcontroller, and let's test the circuit. Now unfortunately, the buzzer here did not work. That is because the buzzer does not function the same way as the LEDs. You have to set the tone and the loudness, how loud the buzzer is going to be. So let's reconnect our jack plug and recreate a new program, this time solely for the buzzer. Now in my new opened program, make sure that you have the right pickaxe type selected, and then click on Refresh COM ports for your cable to appear. Now click on New Flowchart for us to be able to create a program using flowchart commands. Now when you're presented with the Start command, we're going to start to set up the pins. We're going to assign which pins are going to be the inputs and which pins are going to be the outputs. So let's refer back to this table right here and see to which components each pin is connected to. So pin CO is an output, it's connected to the red LED. Pin C1 is an input and it's connected to the LDR. Pin C2 is again an output and it's connected to the piezo buzzer. Pin C3 is an input by default and it is connected to the push to make switch. Pin C4 then, pin C4 is an output and it is connected to the left red LED. So let's assign that as an output. Just to remind you, the I symbol stands for input, the O symbol stands for output. Now we have our start command finished. We clicked on OK to confirm everything. Now let's start building the program step by step. So this time the switch is going to turn on whenever this switch is on. So in the commands section, we're going to click and drag a simple decision command, okay? The one with the diamond symbol. Now let's click on this command and assign this command to pin C3 where I have my push to make switch connected. So let's give it a 1 because this command is going to function whenever pin C3 is on. And as a cell label, I'm going to write is switch on. Make sure to click edit before. And then click on OK to confirm everything. Now, as an output, I cannot use the commands from the comment section. So let's go to the sound output section. These commands are dedicated solely to sound. Here you have sound, play, tune, play iPod, play MP3. Let's click and drag a simple sound output to make our buzzer just make a beep. So let's click on this command, assign it to pin C2 where I have my buzzer connected to it. So on the pin section, make sure that you have pin C2 selected. Note value is the note that your buzzer is going to play. By this I mean the pitch of the buzzer, how loud is it going to be. So let's click on the drop down menu and select a value. I'm going to click on 10. Let's give this buzzer a note value of 10. And then there's the note duration. This is how long you want your buzzer to play the note. Here I'm just going to select 1. And I'm going to leave the cell label the way it is as well. So just go ahead and click on OK. Now let's create a command for when the switch is off. So back into the sound output section, click and drag a sound command. Change your cursor into a pen to connect the decision command to the sound output. And now I'm going to create a flow line which connects the output commands back to the start position, because of course we want our program to always restart and function the same way. Let's connect the other sound output to the start position. Change our cursor back to a selection tool. Now let's change the command for when the switch is off. Make sure to set the pin to C2 and the note duration and the note value should both be 0. Once again, let's check for errors. Right, no errors were found. Now let's simulate our program to see if everything is functioning accordingly. So go to the Simulate tab and then click on Run to run the program. Now it's a good thing that we simulate things before, otherwise we won't be able to see certain items in real life. So pin C3, even though it is off, pin C2 where I have my buzzer connected to it is still turning on. Even though both values are stated at 0, it doesn't mean that the buzzer is going to be off. It's still going to be turning on, however, no sound is going to be heard. When pin C3 turns on, obviously the buzzer still stays turning on, however, this time you're going to hear a much more louder sound. Let's see the circuit in real life. So, of course, I don't want my buzzer to keep turning on all the time. So let's delete this command, right-click, and then click on delete. And now let's go to the common section and click and drag a regular outputs command. Now click on it and set this command to pin C2 and make sure that pin C2 is going to be off. Now go to the Home tab once more and change your cursor back into a selection tool. Click on the Outputs command that you have just created, and now let's edit the cell label. Tick on Edit and underneath Cell Label, type Buzzer Off and then click on OK. Alright, now let's check for errors. Okay, the program has compiled successfully. Go to the Simulate tab and now let's run the program. Alright, now the program is working the way we want it to. Whenever pin C3 is off, pin C2 is off. And whenever I turn on pin C3, that is the only moment where pin C2 will turn on. Let's see it one more time. Okay, now let's download the program into our microcontroller. Go to the Home tab and click on Program and wait for the program to download. Let's see the circuit now in real life. Alright, now as you saw on the demonstration, the buzzer barely had any delay. So let's make the duration of the note a bit longer. So let's click on it. So the note value 10 will last for a much longer time. So let's set this note duration to a value of 255. When selected, click on OK. Now, as we always do, click on Check to check for any errors. If no errors are found, then click on Program to download this program into our microcontroller. Alright, now let's wait for the program to download. And then let's see the circuit in real life. Now on to the next step. Now of course it's not so attractive having a buzzer making a beep like that. So instead, since we're using a microcontroller program here, we could make the buzzer play a familiar tune. So let's do that. So let's delete the command under is switches on. Now let's right-click on the Outputs command and click Delete. Make sure to leave the other output command as we still want the buzzer to turn off whenever the switch is off. So in the sound output section, this time I'm going to click and drag a play command. So another output command that's going to make the buzzer play a familiar tune. Make sure that it is set to pin C2, and on the tune section you could select a tune that you want. In this case, I'm going to select Happy Birthday. And here where you have LED flash, you could make the LEDs of the circuit flash whenever the buzzer plays the tune. However, for now, let's leave it with no flash. Now let's leave the cell label as it is and click on OK to confirm everything. Now, as we always do, let's create a loop. Now go to the Home tab and click on Line. And let's create a flow line coming out from the last output command and going back to the start. Let's change the cursor back into a selection tool and let's check for errors. Alright, no errors were found, so let's click on Program to program our microcontroller. So let's wait for everything to download. When program is finished downloading, let's test our circuit. Alright, now let's make the LEDs flash while the microcontroller makes the buzzer play the happy birthday tune. Now let's click on the play command, the play output command. And where there is LED flash, I'm going to click on outputs 0 and 4 to flash and click on OK. By this, I would be making pin CO and C4 turn on whenever the tune is being played. Now let's click on Program to download the code to our microcontroller circuit. Alright, now let's test the circuit. Before I test it, let's remove this jack plug from the stereo jack socket. So let's press the tactile switch, and as you can see, as the buzzer plays the tune, the LEDs will flash. They will flash accordingly. Now, unfortunately, an LED has stayed on when the tune has finished playing, so let's do some alterations to the code once again. So, when the switch is off, I'm going to go to the buzzer off output command. So, click on it, and I'm going to give a digital 0 to pin CO and C4. This will confirm that all of my output components are going to turn off whenever the switch is off. Now let's change the cell label and instead let's type outputs off. Click on OK to confirm everything. And now let's click on Program to download the code to our microcontroller circuit. Remove your jack plug from the circuit when everything is finished downloading. Let's press the tactile switch. And there you go, all of the outputs this time stayed off. Now I'm going to show you how to save all of your work. So, to save your work, you're going to go to the File tab on the menu bar and then click on Save As. Select where you want to save your file. In my case, I'm going to save it on desktop, and I'm going to give a unique name to my file. Here I'm just going to name it as Microcontroller Demo 5 and then click Save. Okay, now let's close the window. And there you have your finished saved file. I hope that you've enjoyed this small tutorial. Now see you on the next one.